Okay, folks, buckle up because we are diving deep into a holiday favorite. Well, at least for some people, I guess.
We are talking eggnog.
Eggnog, yeah. It's that rich, creamy drink. Shows up every December. We see it on the shelves, and then it vanishes just as quickly.
It's kind of mysterious, right?
Yeah, there's more to eggnog than meets the eye. So we're going way beyond, the holiday hype with this one. And we're going to explore the surprisingly long history and cultural impact, all thanks to the book right here, Nog Tales, The Spirited History of Eggnog. I think you'll be surprised.
Definitely a lot more to this drink than what you see on those supermarket shelves. I mean, who knew it had a whole history? Like most
Yeah.
people, I always thought of it as just a holiday drink. But
Yeah, me too. But, oh, no, there's so much more.
yeah, so let's jump right in. Where does this story even begin?
Well, believe it or not, our journey starts all the way back in medieval Europe.
Whoa, okay. Medieval times. Knights and castles. What's eggnog got to do with any of that? Well, they didn't exactly have eggnog as we know it, but they did have something called posset.
Posset.
Yeah. Think of it like eggnog's ancient ancestor.
Okay, so what is this? Some kind of medieval version of eggnog.
It was this warm milk drink curdled with ale or wine, and of course, lots of spices.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure about curdled milk in my holiday drink.
Maybe not so appetizing today.
Yeah, but back then, I guess this was a pretty fancy drink.
Oh, yeah. Posset with its eggs and milk and spices. That was definitely a luxury back in the day. Especially when you think about, keeping all those ingredients fresh without refrigeration.
Yeah, that's true. Refrigerators are pretty important.
Absolutely. So really, posset was a status symbol, right?
Makes sense. Only the wealthy could afford such a drink.
And those spices weren't just for flavor. They were seen as valuable medicines, too.
Oh, right, like a medieval power smoothie.
Exactly.
So how does this medieval posset transform into the eggnog that we know and maybe love today?
Well, that's where the colonists come in. They bring their posset tradition across the Atlantic to the New World, and they start adapting their recipes, to use the ingredients that were available to them in the colonies.
Yeah.
And then, boom, this is where things get interesting.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What happens?
Rum.
Rum.
They add rum to the mix.
Ah, okay. Now we're talking.
And with that one ingredient, this old world drink, it takes on a whole new American identity. And its popularity just skyrockets.
That's a twist I can get behind. But Nog Tales, it mentioned something about a riot.
Oh, yes, you're talking about the West Point Eggnog Riot.
The West Point Eggnog Riot.
1826. It almost sounds like something out of a movie, doesn't it? Some cadets decide to spike their eggnog with a little bit of smuggled whiskey.
A little bit?
Well, it turned into a full-blown riot.
Wow. So eggnog was serious business back then.
You could say that.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, right? I mean, was it just an excuse to, let loose? Or did eggnog actually hold a deeper meaning for them? Like, maybe it was such an important part of their traditions that, they were willing to fight for it.
It's definitely an interesting question to consider. I think it really suggests that eggnog wasn't just a drink, it was a symbol,
Yeah.
It was part of their culture and their celebrations.
And the eggnog story, it doesn't end there, right? It doesn't stay in America.
Oh, no, not at all.
I mean, it's a global drink now.
It really is. Nog Tales talks about how eggnog traveled all over the world, and along the way, each culture kind of made it their own.
Yeah.
Different variations popped up everywhere.
It's pretty cool. And Nog Tales actually has a whole section on all these different versions.
It does.
One that I thought was really interesting was Coquito.
Coquito, yes.
That's the Puerto Rican version.
Right. A delicious twist on the classic eggnog. Instead of regular milk, they use coconut milk, which makes perfect sense, with all the
Yeah.
coconuts in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And to make it truly Caribbean, they add a generous amount of rum.
Of course. Gotta have that rum. And then there's rum pope.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Rum Pope from Mexico.
Yeah. It's got almonds and cinnamon. It's like eggnog, but with a warm Mexican spice twist.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's kind of mind-blowing to think about. This drink, it starts as this medieval status symbol, and then it ends up as this global phenomenon.
It's quite a journey.
Yeah. And each culture along the way adds its own unique flavor, literally.
It really speaks to the power of cultural exchange, and the fusion of culinary traditions. You think about all these different cultures coming together and sharing their own versions of this drink.
Yeah. It's kind of beautiful when you think about it that way.
It is.
And the best part is Nog Tales. It's not just a history lesson.
Right.
It's also a recipe book.
It is. It's full of them.
They have classic recipes, modern twists. They even have vegan options and alcohol-free options.
So no matter your preference, there's an eggnog recipe out there for you.
So next time you have a glass of eggnog, think about its incredible journey. Through time, across cultures, it's a reminder of how food and drinks connect us all.
Well said. So if all this talk of eggnog has got you craving a glass, maybe inspired to try a new recipe, definitely check out Nog Tales. You might be surprised by what you discover.
Definitely worth exploring.
Yeah, and happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays!